Yeah guys, welcome back to another video on Tropical Storm Frank and Tropical Storm Georgette, which just formed just like 2 seconds before I did this video. Georgette is currently looking a bit better than Frank. A little bit better than Frank. But it's got a weird looking cone. Because the cone is basically like this. And Frank's cone is going to be like this. So these two could interact with each other by Monday. Now what I mean by Monday is if I go back to the Eastern Pacific and I'll show you Frank's track, by Monday Frank will be near, you get it up for you guys, 5-day uncertainty track. Okay, so about when Frank's here, Georgette is here, so Georgette will be doing this. So basically Georgette will be doing this. And this is what Frank is going to do. So, you could have the Fujiwara Effect, where two storms get close to each other, about 100 to 50 miles from each other, and they spin around each other. They don't literally spin right around each other. Like say if there was a category 4 here, and there was a category 2 here, weakening, and that category 4 took over the convection from the category 2, basically it'll make the category 2 storm weaker and the category 4 storm will be stronger. So that's what it basically means. So I'm going to show you. So the next name is Howard, followed by Ileti, then Javier, then Kay, Lester, Madeline, Newton, Orlean, Payne, Rosalind, Samore, Tina, Berlin, Winifred, Xavier, Yolanda, and Zakit. We're not going to get down here. I think we're going to get these names. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, well, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18. I think we're going to get 18 M storms. But now for the Atlantic, you've only had 2. But I think we're going to exhaust this naming list. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 12. It's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 12. 12 at 12 at 12 is 24. So that's 6 at 6 is 12. And another 12 is 4. 24. So we could get past Walter, or we could even get into the supplemental list, which is Adrian, Berlin, and Caridad. Don't know if we're going to get that far yet, but I'm going to show you now. Tropical tidbits and the El Nino and La Nino and what the Enzo's forecast is going to do and what the model's picking up. And also we've got Invest 93W, which could become a tropical depression later on tonight or very early tomorrow morning. So here we are on tropical tidbits. You can see 93W here looking kind of alright actually. It's not looking the best, but there is a little bit of wind shear on the system. But as it moves out of this wind shear and moves further up north, it will be an environment where it's conducive for some intensification. Now I'm going to show you the computer models. North Atlantic. Now there is a system that does try and form in the Atlantic. Now I'm not ruling that out, but if you have a look, there is a system that does try and form in the Atlantic. So you got nothing coming off the coast. which is right. But you do have a little area of spin near here, which does push inland. Whether that reforms into the Gulf, we don't know. But if you keep watching, we have another area of low pressure near the East Pac. Keep watching the Caribbean here for some possible signs of development. See 1006, 1003, which makes landfall where pretty much near where Bonnie made landfall. But that's the 12Z model, and I'll show you this. I would show you the 6Z, but that was ages ago. So I'm going to show you ocean analysis. We are now officially back into a La Nina, as I can say, because minus 0.502 is now a La Nina, because we are now back in a La Nina. When it crosses this line, it means we're in a La Nina, and we are, because literally it went from like this, now it's crossing the line, and it probably will serve down here until late November, early December time-ish, and turn back into neutral. Now whether this will go up from December, from here, from December, becoming El Nino from December, like this, because Atlantic is due for a pretty formidable El Nino, whether it's weak or moderate, which will suppress tropical activity in the Atlantic, but La Nina enhances activity in the Atlantic. So you can have a warm neutral, which is basically from here to here, basically, in cold. No, okay, so you got El Nino, and you got warm neutral, you got cold neutral, you got La Nina. So basically, you got El Nino. So let's call this El Nino. El Nino. You got neutral. You got La Nina. So basically, that's La Nina, that's neutral, and that's El Nino. So I can say we're officially back into La Nina. So the Pacific won't be as active as it has been, because in the La Nina season, the Pacific is always quieter. The Pacific may get an early season train, like we've seen 2020, 21, and 22, but it doesn't mean that it'll be active. Like 2018, that was active in it. That was probably the most active Pacific hurricane season on record. 2018. But I'll show you Eastern Pacific's waters. They aren't really that warm, but where Georgia is right now, it's actually pretty warm. It's actually alright. But Eastern Pacific. Frank is basically here. Georgia is here. So Georgia basically is gonna do this, move out towards sea like that, which is a weird look. It's a weird track for a storm from the Eastern Pacific to take. It's just weird, because like usually these tracks, or when they come from the Atlantic, they do this. It's basically, now that we're back into La Nina, shear should be literally tearing these systems apart, because usually when you have an El Nino, shear usually comes out like this from from the Atlantic, well, into the Atlantic. But when you have a La Nina, the shear blows this way into the eastern Pacific, so any hurricane that comes over here gets suppressed by the wind shear over here. So if an eastern Pacific storm was to cross over into the Atlantic, basically if it dissipates, it'll get its Atlantic name. But if it was basically to make a category 4 landfall here, so like say if it was to make a category 2 landfall here, weaken, like a cat 3 landfall, cat 4 landfall in Florida, that means basically that storm will basically get retired in for the Eastern Pacific name, which is kind of confusing because when we had Bonnie early on this year, Bonnie formed pretty much down here and then went like this. Well, pretty much. No, I'll show you what the track was. Track was a little bit further south. It's about here. And then Bonnie, if Bonnie made landfall as a category 3 here, it's basically went like this. And then its remnants re-entered into the Gulf and reformed as a tropical storm here. Basically, it didn't have its Pacific name because if the LOC collapses over the mountains of Mexico and then comes back into the Pacific, it'll be its Eastern Pacific name. But if you have a storm that crosses from the Atlantic over the mountains of Mexico into the Eastern Pacific, it will keep its Eastern Pacific name. I will show you the Atlantic waters now. The Atlantic waters are piping hot. 31 degrees in some parts of the Mexican and the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, Gulf of Mexico is 30 degrees. Probably some parts of the Caribbean say this bit is slightly below average. But as you can see, the MDR is warming up quite nicely. As you can see, these are the 60 and 26 degree isotherms right now, which are pretty crazy because it extends pretty long in the Atlantic. So if you to get a storm like this year, that will be a pretty formidable track to take, or basically like this, which will also be a good track to take for if you want to be a Cat 5. But you can get homegrown Cat 5s that can basically form here, do what Maria did, like this, and if they want to enter to the Gulf, they can do that, make landfall. That is a good track for major hurricane, or in the Caribbean like this, and scoot up along the coast, which is also a good track. These are the late season tracks. These are the early tracks. These are like mid-September to August tracks. These are like the tracks I'm doing now. These are the Caribbean cruisers, which just hang about in the Caribbean, gaining so much momentum and intensity. So anyway, that's all I have time for today. Hope you guys enjoy the video. There'll be an update out on Invest 93W tomorrow. If it's a tropical depression by early, I'll see if I can do an update, but I'm not promising. But if you guys like the video, forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Don't forget to share this video on social media and family or friends. It really helps the channel. And yeah, I'll leave you on this SST map where the La Nina is clearly see here, the Atlantic warm waters and Westpac warm waters. So yeah, anyway, see you all in the next video. Peace and have a great day.